This video is on how to form an X using Fundations verbiage, the first part, and then after that we will talk about some common errors that I see kids using or doing when they are forming an X and ways to maybe troubleshoot and help them with that. So first, the verbiage from Fundations. X is a plain line slide letter. It starts on the plain line and it slides. Okay, you're going to go to the plain line, slide down to the grass line, leave a space and point to the plain line. Slide back to the grass line. X, fox, x. Okay. So just FYI, when you're making the sound related to an X, and I tell my students this, X is a thief letter. Okay, an X actually has to steal it steals two sounds from two different letters. So when I say the sound for X, which is x, it's actually two sounds. It's kind of hard to hear them because they happen so fast. But when I make the x sound, I'm actually hearing this, a k and a s, and we smash it together. X, x. Okay, and so we just talk about how it does steal. We have an X, but that's how we're actually going to read the X. It does not have its own sound. Now, how would you help your child form this letter? Well, typical errors that I see, besides not touching but floating, which are on multiple videos, they might start off with a nice slide letter here, but then they may end up doing something like that. It's a pretty common error. So one way to help with that is get that in that first slide letter, and then talk about how that if I look between my plain line and my grass line, I want to make sure I'm going to tag this line with another line. And I'm going to tag it about right there in the middle. Let's look at this one. Did I tag in the middle, which is here? No, I tagged too high, didn't I? So we talk about where you're going to, quote, tag it and then run. So now I have my tag. That's where I'm going to tag that line. I have to come over here, and then I'm going to slide, tag that one diagonal line, and continue down and run. X, fox, x. So it can help to give them those parameters, that extra little support, and once they get a slide line or a diagonal line, and you can give them a little dot to say, okay, that's where we need to cross. That's where we're going to cross it. So come over here, and you may have to even give them a dot where you want them to start that line, because it is tricky for kids. So you might give them those two dots for support. And again, we're going to make sure we start there, but we're going to tag in that dot on that dot I just gave you, and then we're going to go down. And you can slowly start to fade those dots. You might have to support that for a while, but then you can kind of fade those.